Joining us now was talkSPORT man at Old Trafford yesterday, our Manchester correspondent, Micky Gray. Micky, good morning, mate.
Good morning, Micky.
Troy, Gabby, morning, mate.
Morning,
How
pal.
are you doing, guys?
Yeah,
All
we're
good,
doing
mate.
great, thank you, mate. Look, mine's kind of a two-in-one question. How embarrassing is it for 15 league defeats for a club the size of Man United? And do we give Ruben Amorim the grace of rotating his squads, or do we think he's making a mistake with that?
Well, I asked him at the end of the game, Troy, yesterday. I said, are you putting all your eggs in one basket with the Europa League now? Because the Premier League is just finished. I think he said that after the win against Lyon. I think the highs from Thursday night certainly weren't there yesterday when I was at the game. It was flat. It was really poor. It was a bad performance. He said that at the end of the game himself. I mean, the only thing you can say yesterday was there was a couple of positives. The young lads who got their opportunities, they were really good yesterday. Harry Amas and Tyler Fredrickson. But other than that, you know, you kind of nitpicking it where Man United were yesterday. They were that poor. But that's just the story of the season. As you mentioned there, I mean, they've lost 15 games. That's not where Manchester United need to be. And there's another stat there yesterday as well. They've conceded first in 20 games in the Premier League this season. It's not good enough for Man United. I think they know that. There's going to be a lot of changes in the summer. And they're going to have to back Ruben Amorim, because if they don't, then they're going to have another season like they've had this time around.
Micky, you know what's crazy about Manchester United is that there's new records every week. I mean, they've lost 8 times at home this season, the most since 1963. They've lost 15 games this season. Liverpool have lost 15 in 3 seasons. It's taken them. And also, Wolves have done the double over them. Another team that's done the double over Manchester United. It seems to be new records, negative-wise, every week.
Well, the thing with them, Gabby, is, well, you know, you two guys know yourselves, when you used to go to Old Trafford, how difficult a place it was to go to. You used to walk down that tunnel, and at times you were 1-0 down.
Yeah.
That's how it felt. It was a horrible place to go. It was just so hard to get any point, any result there. I think sides are going there now and they're actually enjoying it. They're enjoying seeing Man United suffer, and they're enjoying the football, which you could never do at a club like that. You certainly couldn't do it at Old Trafford. And things have got to change. I mean, I don't know if it's the players. I mean, how they're going to get rid of these players. There's all this speculation and talk about 4, 5 or 6 of those players leaving Manchester United in the summer. If they're on big contracts, they're not going anywhere. We saw about 2 months ago Casemiro turning around saying, I love Manchester. I've never seen anything like it. And a weird thing yesterday was, and I don't know if, you know, Troy, I mean, you retired a little bit later than myself and Gabby. I was in the tunnel at Old Trafford yesterday waiting to do the interviews with the managers. And the players were all sat down on all the medical kit because they were trying to fill the coach up Wolves. And they're all sat there, the 2 groups of players having conversations with each other, swapping shirts. I've never witnessed anything like it. I mean, we used to have players' lounges in our days. I don't think they've got that anymore now. But the groups of players, both sets, were just chatting away with each other as if they'd met up on a Saturday night out. It was crazy.
And unfortunately, mate, that's half the problem now. When you have lads who, I think the rules have helped for that as well, because you don't smash anyone anymore. You don't have that you know, that bit of like nastiness and try and run over it. And again, unfortunately, the players have become very matey. It's good to be a professional footballer. That's why I kind of retired, if I'm being honest with you. Trying to get hold of people every single day, and it's like, just became tiring. He's like, I've got kids at home. I don't need to keep doing this when we're trying to win games. That should be the game. But now you look, the managers are pulling into that as well, because losing a game, Amorim was like, well, I don't really care. We've got Europe. Yeah. And we used to play whenever we played, and again, as a young player coming through, and in the old times, when you get a clip round your ear if you lost. Like everything was about winning. I think now it's about styles of play, patterns. I could go on and rant all day, Micky, but it's boring. Yes. I do want to get your opinion on Kevin De Bruyne. He did reveal this weekend that he felt shocked that he didn't get anything offered from Man City in terms of a new deal. At the start of the month, he did let everybody know that he will be leaving the Etihad at the end of the season. And Gabby did say earlier on that he feels that Kevin De Bruyne has started to sprint again now he's decided to let himself go. Do you think it's a little bit poorly treated, mismanaged, Kevin De Bruyne's situation at Man City?
Well, if you go back a little bit further than that, Troy, he actually did get offered a contract. there was something put on the table for Kevin De Bruyne, and he said his form wasn't good enough. So they took that contract away. But I think then eventually when he got himself fit after that, he thought he was going to be offered that contract yet again, but I don't think it was put on the table for him. So it's a little bit bitter because you obviously think what he's achieved at that club. And I mean, people talk about statues, don't they, when you're at Man City? And he probably will get one. So that just kind of proves how good he's been. But he doesn't want to leave with a disappointing ending. They've still got a chance of winning a trophy. I think everybody's pretty much gutted that he's leaving the Premier League because he's been so good since he's been here. But most players that leave Man City obviously leave with a smile on their face and a pat on the back to say thanks very much. We're going to miss him in the Premier League. There's no question of that. But yeah, he definitely doesn't want to leave with a bitter pill in his mouth.
I think as well, we were talking earlier, Micky, that just another year, and you might not be on the same money. I'm sure you can survive on 150, not 300. But do you reckon that's something that he's looking at and says, no, I don't want to be a big part player next season. I want to go somewhere and play every week.
Well, we don't know what's happening with these 115 counts as well, Gabby. Yeah. I mean, there's speculation and talk as well about which players are going to be leaving Man City and which players are going to be staying. If they get it's an if, I'm saying if here, if they get a transfer embargo of maybe 3 transfer windows, they might need to keep some of these players because there's been no talk of Ilkay Gundogan leaving the club. Bernardo Silva, the aging players, if you like, they might need to be sticking around for another season, because if they don't, then the squad's going to be really bleak. And they keep talking about all these young players coming through the academy. I know Nico O'Reilly's just came through at the moment. They've got a couple of others that are on the fringes as well. The younger generation might get a chance at Manchester City. And if that does happen, then nobody really knows what Pep Guardiola's going to do. He signed that 2-year contract. He's got a year left. I'm sure if they do get that transfer embargo, then he wants European football every single season. You never know what might happen. It's going to be a really interesting summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Micky, real quick, mate. Sunderland face off against Blackburn today at 3 p.m. How important is it for Sunderland to pick up some form? I feel like they've slept-walked into this playoffs, and I do worry with the likes of Bristol City, who are no one's talking about Bristol City. They are flying, by the way. I think it's important that Sunderland pick up form going in the last couple of games. What do you think?
Yeah, you're right, Troy. I think we all know you need form going into those playoffs because, I mean, they've had a great season. Nobody really expected Sunderland to be in the playoffs. But, over the next couple of games, they've got to try and pick up a win and just get that little bit of confidence, because who knows who you're going to be playing against. If it's Bristol City, Coventry, West Bromwich Albion, Middlesbrough, just outside there as well. Sheffield United, it looks like they're going to be the other side. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But whoever goes in with a bit of form, they're probably going to be the favourites.
Oh, cheers, Micky. Always a pleasure to chat to you, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.